You know I'm a massive advocate for technology. When I'm not teaching in class, I spend my time visiting schools, helping teachers use technology well. But honestly, my favourite part of teaching, my absolute favourite, the thing that brings me most amount of joy as a teacher more than anything else is reading a book to my class. Nothing beats it. Nothing beats that moment where the room settles, the eyes widen, and they beg for one more chapter. It's pure magic. And I hate the phrase non-negotiables, but if there was one non-negotiable every teacher needs to follow, is that for 10, 15, 20 minutes every day, they are reading just purely and utterly for pleasure to their class. And every teacher knows that matters. Reading for pleasure is one of the strongest indicators of how successful children will be. Research shows it's more important for a child's educational success than family income, parents' levels of education. Children who read for pleasure do better in everything. That's why so many organisations summarise it as it being the single biggest indicator of how successful children will be later on in life, whether they read for pleasure. I've just seen this, that a group of MPs are going to start an inquiry into looking for why children don't read for pleasure. Now look, it's good people are paying attention to it, but an inquiry? How much money is that going to cost? Because speak to a teacher, give me 5 minutes and I'll tell you why that's not happening. I don't know, could it be every library pretty much closing in this country, which is not giving children access to free books? Or could it be screen time? You know, the fact that so many children's free time is dominated by just scrolling through apps, and ultimately a book cannot compete with that instant dopamine hit of these addictive designed algorithms. So many children just don't have access to books at home, and schools don't always have the budget to bridge the gap. In school, the curriculum is beyond packed. The timetable's bursting. Genuine reading for pleasure time ends up getting squeezed out, even though we hate the fact that happens. Or you could look at in school just to focus on testing, phonics, comprehension, SATs. They're bringing a new year 8 reading test. And when that becomes something that you're constantly measuring, all the love, all the joy just evaporates. A lot of schools, because of budgets, have limited choice of books. And if children don't see books that reflect their interest, their identity, they're not going to pick them up and read it. We know we are busier now than ever before. Clubs, homework, screens, family commitments. Reading drops down that priority list. And confidence. When reading feels hard, children avoid it. The gap widens and the cycle continues. None of this is a mystery. None of this needs a 6-month committee or a glossy report. Teachers already know exactly why reading for pleasure is declining, because we see it every single day. So what we need is investment in the basics, libraries, books, time, choice, and a culture that lets reading feel like a joy, not a task that's measured on a data sheet. And tech can support some of this, but it can never replace the moment when a child chooses a book because the story pulls them in. And if you are a parent watching this, and I know we're working more hours than we've ever worked before, and I know times are tough, but finding 15, 20 minutes at the end of a day just to enjoy a good book, it's something I did as a parent with my kids growing up, and it was some of the best memories. And I'll leave you with this, because I saw a post the other day, I think it was on Facebook, from a teacher that said, I can't tell which child was bottle fed or breastfed, but you can always tell which child has been read to at home. And as blunt as that sounds, every teacher knows exactly what that means.